Right, I'll give you the word picture. I want you to treat me as the pupil at the partly trained stage. I've had some lessons with another instructor, but I've never met you before. Yeah, he has got the same car as you, so I am familiar with the controls. He said today we were going to do emerging left and right, T-junctions left and right.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
Nope.
Yeah, it's partly trained, T-junctions emerging left and right. So I'll leave you to meet and greet. And yeah.
Cool. Nice to meet you. My name's Ollie.
Alright, I'm Tony.
Nice to meet you, Tony. So I spoke to your instructor last night, Tony, and he said that last week you did approaching junctions to the left and right.
Yeah, we approached to turn left and right.
That's it? Yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic. So, Tony, can you remember when you were turning left at a junction, what mirrors did you check?
Middle and left.
Middle and left, in that order?
Yeah, inside out, you said, yeah.
Inside out. And do you remember why that was important, Tony?
He said, something to do with distance and speed.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to check your distance and speed before you're checking if there's anybody on the inside of you. You need to do it in that order because this is a more accurate picture for you.
No, he said that one, distance and speed.
That's it. So that one's more accurate for you to be able to
Yeah,
judge that.
yeah.
So you want to be checking that
Yeah.
first. Tony, once you've done that, and that one, so you could see if there's anybody on the inside of you that you're going to be.
Oh, you're telling me, is that?
Oh, sorry. And what was that mirror for?
You mentioned bikes.
Bikes, yeah,
Oh.
absolutely. So you're looking for things on the inside
Yeah,
of you there. Okay, and once you'd done that, can you remember what you did next on the approach, Tony?
Oh, the signal.
Signal. And how far away from the junction, roughly, did you do that?
It varied a bit. Sometimes I'd signal about 6 or 7 car lengths,
Yeah.
and a couple of times I had to indicate really late.
Okay, and can you remember why you had to indicate late?
Oh, there's a road beforehand.
Absolutely. So you want to be making sure that there's nothing that you could be confusing people and saying you're
I know
turning
what
into
you
that
said,
one
yeah,
first.
yeah.
Fantastic. Well done. Okay, and Tony, when you were going around the corner, how did you judge when to turn into the road?
He got me to follow it round.
Okay.
I kind of picked the curve up in the corner of that window there.
Okay, so I want you to remember that reference point because we'll be using that again today in the corner of that window, okay? And can you remember what position that gave you if you use that reference point?
I'm not really sure, but it stopped me mounting the curb.
Yeah, absolutely, which is important. Can you remember why that's important, Tony?
He said we're not allowed on the curb because we can hit a pedestrian.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't go up on the curb.
No.
And that distance will keep you about your normal road position, which is about a metre away from the
Oh,
curb
right,
as
yeah,
well.
that's what he said in me too.
Yeah. Okay, so that's turning left.
Yeah.
Turning right. What mirrors did you check on the approach, Tony?
It was the middle and right.
Middle and right. And can you remember why that was important?
Oh, again, distance and speed.
Yeah. And the right-hand one?
He said anybody overtaking me, he said.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you think of what that could be that's overtaking you as an example?
A Porsche.
Porsche. Yeah, or it could be a motorbike that you might struggle to
motorbike,
see,
yeah,
something like that. Fantastic. So once you had checked your mirrors, what did you do next, Tony?
Indicated.
Indicated. And about what distance again for
It
indicating?
was about the same.
Yeah.
Again, it was kind of either. Sometimes done about 6, 7 car lengths. Sometimes done them a little bit later.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. And then, Tony, how did you judge your position on the road?
My position on the road.
Yeah, when you were coming up to the junction, where did you position yourself on the road?
When I was turning right,
Yes.
I was getting near to that. I think he called it the line in the centre of the road.
Uh-huh.
So I was getting quite near to that.
Okay, and did you pick up a reference point, Tony, for how to judge your distance from that line?
I came in the corner of a window or something.
In the corner. Okay, so again, I want you to remember that one, and we'll be using that later on
Yeah.
when we're doing emerging. Okay, and then what was it
I'm
important?
just trying to remember why.
You just try to remember why.
Yeah.
Okay, have you got any idea why it might be important to position yourself there?
I remember now. He said if I was too far to the left, I'd be confusing people and might overtake me.
Yeah, fantastic. And what about if you're too far to the right, Tony, and over that centre line?
I'd be blocking the road, wouldn't
Absolutely, yeah. So that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you remember from your last lesson, it's important not to make any other road users slow, stop, or swerve. That's what we're trying to
I? Mentioned it. Yeah.
prevent. Yeah, fantastic. And Tony, whereabout? Oh no, that's irrelevant. Okay, fantastic. So we'll go through for emerging. T-junction, PST 8. We'll have a look at what we're doing. and then we'll head out and have a go. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah?
A bit nervous.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine. So, Tony, do you remember MSPSL from last week?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, it's just what we've spoken through. Yeah, and do you remember that? It's not an anagram, mnemonic for it. Do you remember using MSPSL?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic, no problem. Okay, so it's going to be very similar when we're coming up to turn. This is turning left at a T-junction here. So we're going to be coming up to the crossroads and using the same...
Oh, we're doing crossroads, are we?
T-junction,
Oh,
thank you.
T-junction, right, yeah.
So you're going to be doing the same thing, checking your mirrors,
Yeah.
and then signalling the way you want to go. This is left. Positioning yourself on the road. So we're going to be using that same reference point that you picked up last week
All right.
to keep yourself about a metre away from the curb where we can.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to be covering the brake with your right foot just to slow yourself down.
I always brake with the right foot.
You always brake with the right foot. That's good. We don't want to be doing left foot braking. And then at the same time, you're going to be adjusting into the right gear about 1.5 to 2 car lengths away from the junction. Okay. And then you're going to be looking to see whether you can go. Now, the way we judge that, Tony, is whether we could walk all the way across the road and all the way back without making a car coming towards us slow stop or swerve. Because you've got to remember, we're turning into the path of that car.
Right.
Did you use a similar rule last week at all with your approaching junctions to the right?
Something similar. It was cars coming towards me. I had to walk across.
That's it, you had to walk across them. So it's very simple, and we'll use that when we're merging right. But with this one, we're going to go all the way across and all the way back. Okay?
Right.
Tony, we're going to have to pick up a reference point, which is going to be where we need to stop against
we're
the
gonna stop,
giveaway
are we?
line. So
Oh,
we
right.
are going to
Oh,
stop
right,
for the
yeah,
first
yeah,
few,
yeah.
and we'll pick up a reference point, which you can see being displayed here. I will talk you through where to stop for that reference point, and we'll pick it up yourself so you know where to do. Okay? It's important when you're looking, Tony, that you can see that once you've pulled out, that your way is clear as well. You can see, for example, here, this car is saying he's coming round this parked car.
right, yeah.
Okay, if we weren't able to continue, we wouldn't pull out and stop here. We would wait until our way is clear so that we can continue all the way down the road.
Right.
That's really important.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and the same here. Yeah, so we don't want to make anyone slow stop or swerve, which you can see here. So again, just making sure it's clear, we need to be judging that before we go so that we don't cause anyone to cause an angle. And when we come up to it, we need to be looking to see if it's clear. You can see here there's a parked car on the side. And so what we need to be doing is making sure that we can go around that parked car all the way up. Is that it's our view. That's what it is. Okay, so if you can't see, because we've got what's called, we've got open and closed junctions, they're called. That's what you want, isn't it? So an open junction is something that
I don't
you
know.
can...
I've done it before. I don't know what one.
So we've got two types of junctions, an open and a closed junction. An open junction is something that on the approach we can start to see down the road to be able to judge whether we can go early. Sometimes like this, we've got a closed junction. You can see by the white area that actually our field of view is quite closed. And so we need to be coming up and stopping to make sure that it's clear before we go, because we can't see until quite late. So for example, you might have a house on the corner, something like that. Okay, so we'll have a look at that when we're going. Okay. And then turning right. So Tony, we've got a the same I can't think of the word. The same sequence of events that we're going to be doing. So checking our mirrors, signalling, positioning ourselves. This time using the reference point you mentioned earlier, when we're going to get near to the left of the centre as we can. Okay. Again, I'll talk you through that for the first one, just so that you're comfortable with it. And we'll be stopping at the giveaway line here, so you can pick up a reference point there as well. Okay. Once you've done that, again, you'll have been doing your speed and gear, and you're going to be looking to see whether you can go. Now this time, Tony, we're going to be crossing the path of a car coming from our right. Okay, so you need to use that same judgment that you used last week, whether you could walk one way across the road without causing that car to slow stop or swerve. We don't need to worry about coming back again, because we're only crossing their path, Tony. We're not staying in it. Okay. However, cars coming from the left, we will be staying in their path, because we've got to leave time for us to accelerate up to speed. And so for the left, we'll be judging whether we could walk all the way across the road and all the way back. And that will give us the time to get into their lane and up to speed without causing them to slow stop or swerve. Now, there's two types of junctions that we're going to come across potentially when we're turning here. We've got a give way junction, okay, and we've got a stop junction.
Right.
The way you can recognise them is that a give way junction has an upside down triangular sign with a give way sign in it, and on the road it's also got a triangle, a white triangle marked on it as well, and it's got a broken line here. So there's three different ways you can tell there. A stop junction has an octagonal sign, it has a stop written on the road, and it has a solid line. And it is important, Tony, that all the wheels stop turning. That means that it's probably a closed junction, as you can see here with the red, and so you need to allow that extra time for you to look and make sure it's safe before you go. Okay? Happy?
So all these junctions are going to be easy to spot, aren't they?
They're going to be easy to spot. How?
With give way and stop signs.
Not all of them will have them, Tony, so we need to work out how we're going to identify them, okay? So as we're, or can you think of any ways that you might be able to identify a junction?
No, I don't.
No, did you identify them last week with your approaching junctions to the left and right?
I was so wrapped up in these left and right hand turns.
Absolutely. So things that could help you, Tony, is you'd have, if we were here at a junction, you see there's houses facing us. So we couldn't go straight on. There must be a junction, a T-junction in front of us, because there's houses facing us. You might see cars going sideways in front of you, not skidding, going from either side in front of you. That's probably a better way of putting it, isn't it? So there's a few ways we can identify them, and we'll talk through how we identify them while we're on the move. Okay? Cool. Right, if you'd like to get yourself comfortable then, please, Tony. Don't use going sideways. Can I give that to you, please? Thank you. Okay, and Tony, can you just tell me what you can see out of that mirror, please?
I can square the whole back window, see a bit of my head is straight and a bit of yours.
Fantastic. And out of the left-hand window?
I can see about 2 finger widths. Sky at the top and horizon in the middle.
Fantastic. And the right door mirror?
Same.
Fantastic. Okay, so when you're ready, we're going to move off to the right.
Have to do a bit of demisting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Press that.
Too much breathing. It's looking good.
I can see now.
Okay, so when you're ready, we'll be heading out to the right.
And we're going to turn right to the junction.
And we're going to be turning right at the junction, Tony. So what I'm going to ask you to do is keep it in first gear and moving nice and slowly, about 5 miles an hour, okay? And you can see here there's houses in front of us, so we're coming up to a T-junction. So I'd like you to check your mirrors. Which mirrors are you going to check?
Middle and right.
Go on then. And signalling right. Okay. And slowing right down. Keep it in a straight line. Clutch in now. And stopping a little bit further forward. Going to go forward another couple of foot for me.
Couple of foot?
Yeah. About length of my arm. Can we go with that? Move forward slightly until I tell you to stop.
Alright, that's it.
Okay. About there. Fantastic. Okay. Tony, can you tell me, where does the white give way line on your right there cut into the car?
Just by the door mirror.
Just by the door mirror. Okay, so we're going to use that as our reference point, as where to stop in length forward, Tony. It's important that we don't go past that, because otherwise we're going to be sat in the road and we could cause an obstruction to other vehicles. Okay, and it's important that we're not too far back from it, because we could confuse other road users. They could try and overtake us, and that could be dangerous.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so it's really important that we maintain that. So once we're here, Tony, what are you going to be doing? Well, we're going to be looking next.
All right.
Okay, can you remember how to judge? No, briefing doesn't count anymore. So what we're looking for, Tony, is whether we can, for cars coming from our right, we're looking whether we could cross the road one way without causing them to slow, stop or swerve. And from the left, we're looking to see whether we could cross the road and all the way back without causing them to slow, stop or swerve.
Right.
Okay, so looking both ways. Now, looking both ways for me. Okay, do you think you could cross the road without causing any obstructions that way?
There's nobody there.
There's nobody there, fantastic. And to the left?
There's nobody there.
Fantastic. Okay, so what we're going to do then is continue round the corner. Okay, keep it in first gear until I say as you're going, and look in the direction that you're going, please. Fantastic. Changing gear now, and now checking your mirrors because you're on new road. So we're going to check internal and right door mirror. Okay. How did you find that, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah? Fantastic. Now, Tony, if there were any pedestrians that were at the junction,
Yeah.
it's important that we try and look at them and get eye contact with them and look at their body language.
All right.
We're not going to beckon them across. It's really important that we don't, because that would be us taking responsibility for other road users as well.
And we're going to turn left.
And turning left. So if you slow down to 5 miles an hour for me again, Tony, which mirrors are you going to check?
The middle.
Okay, and then changing your gear down to first. Okay, fantastic. And signalling to the left. Keep moving forward at 5 miles an hour. Sorry, moving forward at 5 miles an hour for me. Why have we stopped?
And the first.
Okay, I'll clutch out after you've done it. Nice and gently on the clutch. That's it. Okay. And you go keep that reference point, keep the curb in that left door mirror that you used. Keep coming forward until I say stop. Keep coming forward, a little bit of power as you do.
Curve in the left door mirror.
In the left corner of the window. Do you remember you told me the reference point from last week?
Yeah, I didn't say anything about the mirror there, did I?
And stopping about there. Okay. Tony, can you tell me where the white line cuts into the car? The same place. So that's the reference point that we can use for both turning right and left. Okay?
Yeah, that van behind me is sticking his fingers up at me.
Okay, so we're going to move straight out. Just check before we do. Could you cross the road and back without causing an obstruction there?
Should I just look and go? Because he's really...
No, if you look for me, can you? Yeah,
really
you can
annoyed,
see. And then a little bit of power, and we're going round to the left here. Okay?
I'm just going to pull over on the left here.
Pulling up, but if you can just pull up where it's safe, convenient, and legal to do so, please, Tony.
You see that van behind you?
Yes, but I'd rather get you round safely.
Yeah, what happens if he overtakes me? Just tell me where to look and when to go, yeah?
Right, okay, so just get you out of that situation.
Yeah, we can't give education if we've got a queue of traffic behind us, yeah?
Okay, no problem.
Okay?
Okay.
So carry on.
Okay.
And we're going to turn right.
And we're turning right here, please, Tony. So, Tony, as I was saying earlier, it's important that we don't beckon pedestrians across. Because otherwise, if there was a moped overtaking you or a car coming from the opposite direction, that they might just accept that we've looked everywhere for them. We can't take that responsibility on, okay? So that's really important. Now, if they do put one foot into the road, Tony, it's important that we then let them go because they've started crossing the road. But you don't beckon them, you just wait patiently for them to go.
Not even if I know them?
Yeah, not even if you know them.
And turning right.
And turning right, please, Tony. So slow down again for me, up down to 5 miles an hour. Which mirrors you go check?
Middle.
Go on then, and right.
Yeah.
Okay, signalling.
Right.
Down into first gear. Okay, and we're going to stop about now, or a little bit further forward, Tony. I'll tell you when, about there. Fantastic. Okay, so does that reference point work for you again on the right, where you are? Where the white line cuts into the car? Whereabouts does the white line intersect the car?
Yeah, be a little bit careful with the new part of the subject, yeah?
Okay.
Tell me where to stop, ask me where does the reference point cut in, yeah?
Okay, no problem. Okay, so Tony, we can go to the right now. This car's letting us go as well. Okay, so we're going to handbrake off and move around to the right.
Oh, I don't need to look?
Yeah, looking as well. Okay, that car's already flashed to say we can go.
Yeah, can you just tell me which way to look?
Okay, look right, and then left, and then right, and look in the way you're going, okay? Fantastic. And now you're on a new road, checking your mirrors. Well done.
And we're going to turn left.
And turning left here.
And if you just get me to pull over on the left, somewhere just past that.
If you can just pull over.
Just ignore the yellow line for me.
Yeah, just ignore the yellow line. Just pull over on the left where it's safe to.
Yeah. Treat me as a new pupil, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were out learning a driver.
Yeah.
Would you just say just go when you want to?
No, the reason is because I stopped you on the last one and you said look and tell me to go, and so I had done the looks and I was just getting you out of the way because there were two cars waiting.
Yeah, but when you watch this video back, you just said go.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I must look.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So still get you to look, but I'm doing it, and so I know it's safe to go at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember the reference point.
Yeah.
Of where I stop on the emerge.
Yeah.
It's very crucial, isn't it?
Yes.
And it is the new part of the subject, that and the look routine.
Yes.
You're going to spend a bit of time on that.
Yeah. Okay.
And before I take it off, I'm not going to roll over, let you rub my tummy after one, yeah?
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. you get me into the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd much prefer if you got the on mirror signal in before I start pulling the speed down to 5 mile an hour. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But get me into the right place.
Yeah.
Get me to stop.
Yeah.
And then ask me where that reference point cuts into the car. Yeah.
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 Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it really hard to spot that emerge. It just came up out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah, so we're going to look at how we can identify them up here as well, Tony, okay? So, we spoke about houses that might be facing us, or cars going from either side that we can see. So what can you see up ahead, Tony?
Houses.
House, and what's the house facing? Where's the house
We're
facing?
going to turn right.
And turning right. Where's the house facing?
Me.
Okay, so check your mirrors. Okay, and signalling.
Alright.
Now speed down to 5 mile an hour. Steer 5 minutes towards you, please.
Position. Yeah.
That's it. And now straight 5 minutes towards me and straight now. Okay, and stopping about. Oh, going forward a little bit more. About there. Fantastic. So Tony, again, where does the giveaway line intersect the car?
It's a bit rubbed out, but it's underneath the door mirror.
Underneath the door mirror. Okay, so we've used the same reference point again. Okay. So while we've got a little bit of time here, we're going to be looking down the road either way. So you need to be looking right.
Yeah, I've forgotten about this. The importance of this.
About the importance of
Yeah.
of what?
What are you teaching me today?
How to emerge?
Yeah.
Well, the importance of emerging is so that we can get onto a new road. Or do you mean the importance of the reference point?
Yeah. Slow down. It's not how many junctions we do.
No,
It's the devil's in the detail. Yeah.
that's it. And it was reference.
Hang on a second. Yeah, you got me to the white line.
Mhm.
You got me to pick up the reference point.
Mhm. So now explain the importance of the reference point.
Yeah, there's no because, is there?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So even though I've already said it, just keep repeating it because it's a new subject.
I've never done it before.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, if I was teaching you to fly and I managed to get you up in the air and I handed you the controls for a few minutes, I wouldn't really go to sleep afterwards, would I?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, Tony, the importance of the reference line is of stopping with that reference point there.
Yeah.
Is if we're too far over the line, then we would be in the way of traffic that's coming from either way, and that could cause an obstruction, cause them to slow, stop, or swerve. If we're too far back from the line, then that could cause the road users behind us to get confused. They might try and overtake us, and that could be dangerous as well. Okay, so it's important that we stop at the right place using that reference point every time.
When you say if I'm too far over, it'll cause confusion.
Yeah.
Is that dangerous?